Alright, we're locked in. And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the J Money Talks podcast. This is episode number 7, I believe. This is episode number 7. We are live here in the Ville. I'm your boy, your host, Mr. Jason Michael Johnson, J Money, y'all. And we got a good show today. So, I guess we gotta talk about the first, we got a big show today. I think we gotta go into the first one. Excuse me. And I think it should be about, the big one is gonna be about probably the big thing that a lot of people talked about in terms of music videos is the release of a Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion WAP video, the wet ass P-word video, and pretty much the backlash, the backlash and stuff that happened in the video, the song itself, and everything involving the song. And talking about now, if you don't know, if you haven't lived under a rock for the past 6 days, this is what it is. So, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion released their brand new song called WAP, which is about, let's just say, a very graphic, sexually graphic video, music video slash song. Pretty much talk about a woman's privates being producing a lot of moisture and a lot of juices. And let's just say this, the controversy by a lot of people was that this needs to be censored of some kind or some form of fashion and censored. They should be, Cardi B's a mom, and everyone, pretty much a lot of guys and stuff. And to me, I'm just and I just watched this earlier today, first time I ever seen the video, and a lot of cases is, what the fuck are y'all complaining about? This is some shit we've listened to multiple times. It's to me, to you may have heard it it's more blatant. It's more blatant, but other than that, this is it's not bad. It's nothing makes me oh, I should not watch this, and oh, I'm thinking of some in your fault. So let's just say there was some. I've been dealing with that for the past week, but I will get to that later. But it is a song that doesn't even seem in terms of how they're describing it, how they're describing, if they got it, I say flaunt it. To me, it's a lot of the people who do this stuff, it's in regards of sex, a lot of people are really upset that there's a huge double standard when it comes to people talking about how they feel about sex, that they should brace when a guy pretty much talks about how many women he slept with, how many kids he got, or whatever. People look at him like he's the king. When a woman talks about how much she wants to get fucked by many dudes, that's where everyone is no, you're supposed to control those thoughts and stuff. And I'm there's a point in this time we need to do something where there has to be no double there. I don't think there should be a double standard. If a woman feels proud that she can hook up with many guys she wants and feel comfortable about it, who are we to judge that person, that woman? It's a lot of things. It's this when it was this with when people were doing premium Snapchats and OnlyFans and stuff, and people doing webcam sites and porn and all of this stuff. And don't get me wrong, I was on that boat for 4 or 5 years ago. That is the dumbest thing, and I would not support it. And then pretty much a couple of years later, I pretty much started after some thought processes, after doing some research of my own and pretty much looking and at least talking to people who are a part of, who do give those services, do those types of services, that it should honestly feel more normal. It should be like more, I think there should be some cases it should be more like regulated but serviceable, but it's I think some things, to me, it's just the people who are going on about this whole, like, about the sexual gratification of a song and stuff, is you're pretty much acting like your parents, because 20 years ago, if this was happening like 2000 and 2002-ish, like if you heard that song like in 2000, like, it's, your parents will be on you about it. Now, 20 years later, you're the parents. Now you're practically doing the same behaviors they're doing now. And you honestly look childish yourself. More childish yourself. If you don't want your kids... Now, I get it, if you pretty much condemn the song because you don't want your kids to be that way in life, I can understand it. But to me, you're going a little too far with it. Just chill out. Because that's like the same people who are like on the Super Bowl halftime show, which was practically like, which with J-Lo and Shakira, like, let's just say a lot of people were kind of like, thought it was controversial, but because of pretty much dancing and stuff, and let's just say, some people pretty much condemned the NFL for putting them on this halftime show, and some guys responded in another way, which I was a part of that myself, so I'm not, so let's just say, I'm just saying, to me, there's a controversial thing where everyone is upset at the whole Cardi B thing. Is stupid. Like, you sound stupid, and you kind of look stupid. So, relax and chill out about it. But yeah, it's I think a big thing was in the video was the Kylie Jenner scene. I can totally understand that controversy a bit, because she shouldn't really, why was a point of her being in it? I mean, she looked okay. I don't see anything wrong with her being in it. But I think it's because, well, it's Kylie Jenner, it's a Kardashian, and pretty much, they're practically the biggest, like, whores in all of, like, mainstream media. So, yeah, I mean, but other than that, I don't see anything wrong with the video. The sexual graphics stuff is nothing crazy. Like, there's some stuff from like 1935, like I heard, like someone put on Twitter, and this is like a 30-second clip. I think you can find it, but I just listened to this, and it's like this black woman that pretty much just graphically just telling that she would suck a man's dick and ride him like a pony. I'm like, it's nothing weird. It's like, and it was just, it's like, she didn't try to like play around the words and stuff. No, she just like straight said suck my dick. Like, that's literally just like a boom. That's like some crazy, that's like, so it's like, you're practically, you saying nothing about it is just stupid to me. You sound like an idiot. People just sound like an idiot, for real. Alright, that's my point on that there. Let's just move on there. Okay. So, we're gonna go next. We can talk about sports stuff. And, well, this is a big one. College football is kind of debating on, is having a fight on trying to see who is going to play, what conferences are going to be playing, because right now the Big Ten and the Pac-12, they say they out. the Big Ten on Monday or Tuesday, I believe, said we're going to go and cancel the season, postpone it postpone it on the the to the spring. I'm sorry, mine went blank. But yeah, from the that was planned for. That is what the Big Ten says. Pac-12, same thing. Difference between the Big Ten and what the Big Ten said and the Pac-12 said. The Pac-12 said vote was unanimous. They ain't playing. And the Big Ten, on the other hand, there was only 2 teams that said no. And one of them was probably the University of Nebraska. And they are saying, like, okay, if we're not going to be playing, if it says, like, okay, if Big Ten ain't going to play, we'll just go and play. We'll find some way to play games somewhere. Like play games outside of the Big Ten. If we're not gonna have conference play, we'll just still play like independents and stuff, and that's a little difficult to process there. But it is interesting. I don't know how this is gonna go. I say this. I think some of this is gonna be decided on the schools. Should be decided on the schools instead of a conference itself. Let the schools decide if they want to play. The schools that decide to play gets to play. The schools that don't decide to play and decide to postpone it till fall, let them postpone till fall. Let the teams that are remaining pretty much make their own schedules from there, and let be a free roam independent thing. And how do you process that stuff and all this? And like, would you go in like a bubble format type of thing or something of the sort? And I don't entirely know how this is gonna work. And do I want college football come back? Come into season, play the season. I do want college football to be played this season. I love it, but it's like this coronavirus stuff. A lot of things is different. I don't know. The big question is, will they allow fans into these games? I don't know. That is going to be a question there. That's a question there. And that's another question. And like the NFL, so far they're not going to no bubble format. So far, no. There hasn't been a lot of positive tests. Not a lot of players have, like a good chunk of players for Patriots opted out. And that's a big thing there. Somehow people are saying, like, will the Patriots like tank for Trevor Lawrence? I don't know. I do not believe Patriots are gonna go into like a tank of some kind to tank for a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or someone like that. That's something that's a little too much there. But the big thing is a lot of teams right now. Big favorite is of running table Super Bowl for early favorites is the Baltimore Ravens. It's my Ravens, and I'd say like one of the big things was that Colin Cowherd said that the Ravens could go 16-0, fly for the playoffs, and win the Super Bowl from there. Basically saying an undefeated season. Which will be the first since the 72 Dolphins, I believe. And 72 Dolphins, I believe. That's completed the first perfect season, the one and only perfect season. The closest for anything of the sort like that to have happened is pretty much the New England Patriots. Them going 16-0, regular season, going for the playoffs, and then, of course, getting upset by the Giants. Upset by the New York Giants, Eli Manning, Michael Strahan, Plaxico Burress, David Tyree, of course the helmet catch, and that is a big, that's an interesting. Do I think that what happened? I don't know exactly. It's too early to call. I say right before this. I think I'll wait right. I think the week before. I'm gonna have like a season preview. Probably have like people from like various like divisions like talk about what teams like give like a review of like give an idea of like the season and who is going to win this, who's going to get in, who's going to get out, what could happen in the season, and all this stuff. I think we'll do something like the week before, or in this case, since I usually record on a Wednesday, the day before, which is pretty early, which is a pretty good, strong way of knowing how the season will go from there. And but yeah, I say that the whole the NFL, hopefully the NFL is coming good. NBA, so far the bubble has actually gone rather well. I say this, the NBA doing really well so far. Everything's been great. I haven't watched a lot of basketball much. I'm pretty much gonna watch tonight though, because this is the last one. This is the last. I think this is gonna be like the last day of like last games and stuff. And the big one is my team, the San Antonio Spurs, are actually in the running for that ninth spot, for that 9 seed, and I need to watch this, see, because I want to know if they get into playing games, I may be happy. But if they don't make it to the playoffs, that's fine. They gave it their best shot. They pretty much came in. To me, before the restart happened, I kind of written off my Spurs for a bit because I did not expect them to win. I not offense. I didn't think they were like that deep enough to go much. I feel like in any circumstance, I think they would have. If they do make a playoffs, I still think they would have won at least maybe 1 or 2 if they did make the playoffs. But they would play against the Lakers, which is probably going to be which is a different animal. Right now the Suns going undefeated so far, pretty much going undefeated throughout the entire bubble restart. Which, let me just say this: I didn't believe they were going to make it in. Next thing I know, Devin Booker pretty much tries to be the guy that wins these games, and he's just crushing it. So I'm like, I'll just shut the fuck up. And yeah, other than that, I think so far the West is every playoffs bracket every playoff matchup is set until except this AC, which is all tonight. This is going to be, but the big games is pretty much going to be, I think it's going to be Houston Rockets take on the Thunder, which is going to be the first, which means we get to see a reuniting of 2 players. Russell Westbrook, who played for the Thunder, was like a big part of the Thunder teams throughout probably I guess a decade. I say a decade. It's been like a decade or a good chunk, which is a big thing. And then Chris Paul is going to be, reuniting with the Rockets, which was deemed before. I think that team that traded him to get Russell, I think, in the offseason. In the East, it is pretty much the Bucks is going back in the beginning. They're running the East. I say they're going to run the table. They're going to be running the table. The most intriguing series is now going to be between the Heat and and the Pacers. That one's a big one. That's gonna have Jimmy. This is gonna be a matchup between Jimmy Butler and T.J. Warren, who is pretty much going into this one. And that's going to be a best of 7 series. So it's going to be interesting there. Then the Celtics play against the 76ers. Play against the Sixers today. Sixers coming up. And then there's going to be the Raptors going to be beginning their title defense against the Brooklyn Nets. So, yeah, so it's going to be, but yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know what else it could be, but the big thing is Russell Westbrook is pretty much has, I believe, a strained quad, I believe. Yeah, strained right quadricep muscle in a right quadricep muscle, so he's going to miss maybe, who knows how many games in this series. So that's a big thing there. But going to be interesting. It's that's going to be a big thing. So looks like it's a large it's going to be a big series, but tonight is the very big one with we got the Bucks and Grizzlies. Bucks take on the Grizzlies. There are 4 teams in the running for this 4th seed, for this big seed in the West, for the 8th seed in the West. So we got the Blazers are currently the 8th seed coming into this. Then it's the Grizzlies, the Memphis Grizzlies. Behind them is the Phoenix Suns, who are pretty much on fire. I kind of read them off, but they're on fire. They're on fire. And then they got the Spurs. And then there's the Spurs. My Spurs. Those 4 teams are in this huge playoff. In this huge, in this whole play-in thing. There's basically whoever is. Basically, if the big one is going to be at least. Basically, here's the situation if this happens. And basically, it's this. For pretty much the Blazers, Trailblazers is simple. Win and are in as the 8th seed currently going into this play-in. Grizzlies, if they win, they're in as the 9th seed. And then the next thing is for the Spurs and the Suns. And luckily enough, I think right now both of them are going to be playing in the next 10, 11 in. No, the Suns actually play. The Suns and Grizzlies play same time. And then the Spurs take on the Jazz, in we'll play the Jazz today at 6:30. So it's actually later. So it's after Mavs, Suns, Spurs play the Jazz, and basically both teams are basically looking for some help with the rest of pretty much some luck from the gods of basketball, from the basketball gods. So it's gonna be a big one. If you're actually watching this, if you're listening to this tomorrow, pretty much right now, if you're a Celtics fan, you guys just lost this by 6 to the Wizards, who pretty much had nothing really to play for, really, to be honest with you. But you guys are already in the playoffs, so it didn't matter. So that's what it was. And then the Kings beat the Lakers. Yeah, Kings are pretty much getting pretty much just one. 136, 122. So is that a big thing for the Lakers losing this? I don't really think so, in my opinion. Like, to me, it's just, like, they pretty much got the number 1 seed locked in. I don't know if, besides, I don't think, did LeBron play in this game at all? Dion Waiters, Drew McGee. Alright, well, LeBron did play, but 15 minutes. Yeah, it was nothing really. They knew they like, look, we're just gonna play like, they just, Like, I don't think, did, no, Dwight only played 12, because I don't think, yeah, it doesn't show, yeah, yeah, it was pretty much a light thing. They were just like, no, I can't just have this one. You guys can have this, but we run out. But still, we're the champions of Cali again. So we are still you. Remember, you're still our daddy. So that's what it is. So it's just like, here, just have it. Just have this win. Whatever. We don't give a fuck. Yeah, that's a big thing about this whole Spurs thing. But yeah, that's a big thing going on to play in with the NBA. MLB, so far baseball has gone interesting. Big thing is everybody's got in for that, are trying to either get some shots in on the Astros, either by pitch or practically pretty much it's like, you know what, fuck a baseball, I'll just run the fade. Like, if you don't know, Sunday, the Oakland A's took on the Houston Astros in a series. I think the A's were pretty much winning the series. This is like the final game of the series. I think the Athletics won that series, I think. I'm not sure. Let me look into, I guess we can look into these games here. So, Sunday. So, let's see. 72 Athletics on Sunday. Saturday, 3-1 Athletics, and then Friday, 3-2 Athletics in inverse. So basically swept the team. So we can say it's a sweep there. So it's actually a sweep. So actually it's a sweep. It's a sweep by the it is a sweep by the Athletics. So pretty much in this case, like, you guys got, so the Astros pretty much got swept. The player in question for the Athletics got hit by a pitch like 3 times in the series. It happened in the bottom of the seventh. Lurion, I think his name is Austin Lariano, I believe that's the correct name of this. And he got hit by a pitch. He's kind of just telling this guy, like, dude, like, look. And it was a break. And it wasn't like a scene or like a night. Actually, he got hit. This is the second time he got hit in this game, because earlier he got hit by like a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. But the next one he got hit by was like a 79-mile-an-hour breaking ball, which is nothing too hard. But he's just like, come on, Doc, like, you could have curved it a little bit more right and not hit me. It would send the message a little bit better. Excuse me there. Sorry for the unprofessional stuff. I shouldn't be doing that when you're in the middle of a conversation, but I need something to drink. So, there was some jawing back and forth between him and the pitcher, and pitcher for the Astros, and he goes to base, and then this coach of the Astros starts talking some shit. Pretty much, Ariano pretty much told him, like, no, just shut the fuck up and go, just chill on the bench. And then the next thing you know, this guy kind of, like, in a way, takes a step up, gets in like a little wide stance. So like, come at me, and pretty much L'Oreal just saw this and just said, bet, and then charges at him. Like, enough players like try to stop him before he gets anywhere, but the big thing was that Lariano, it was a big skirmish. Practically, like, the whole, like, Athletics and the Astros, like, all got in this scrum, which, of course, was a bad idea because of You know, because it's social distancing thing. If you're going to have a bench clearing brawl, it has to be socially distanced and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm kind of calling bullshit. If it's involving the Astros, I say, look, I say this: any brawl in the MLB that has to do with any team is fine. But if it involves the Astros, fuck social distancing. Let them get the fades in. Let everyone get their shots in. And like, nah, everyone's getting, you getting these shots. I don't give a fuck. Like, look, I'm not an Astros fan. I'm not much of a baseball fan, but it was interesting to see this happen. The big thing was the MLB announced that Laureano was suspended for at least 5 games. They gave the hitting coach for the Astros, Alex Cintron, I believe, 20. So it was like, all right, we're gonna, like, he's like the coach out of line. He kind of instigated that the most, and it's good they gave him 20 games there. That was something. It was a big chunk, which is like a third of the season. So congratulations, you are no longer allowed in the next third of the season. Which I'm like, but yeah, it's which is a big chunk because if you consider a 162 game season, that's like missing like 53 technically. So that's like a huge loss for oh wait, it's 54 actually. It's 54 times choose 104 plus oh wait, 108 plus 54. Yeah, it's actually that's 54 and no 54 and a third because there's 163 games in the MLB season, I believe. I think. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I say that's the end of the MLB. But yeah, all I think is baseball. Do I think any team is now the Marlins starting to finally play baseball? The big question is somehow it's the St. Louis Cardinals. Somehow they've been catching like COVID like a motherfucker there. And they've been having games postponed and moved, and I'm like, and the season doesn't, I think the season ends on October or something, so it's like, a bunch of them are going to be playing, like, it looks like by a lot of cases, it looks like they're going to be playing, like, double headers or something, or of the sort, and it's like, it's insane to me. Like, the way it looks like, do I think the Cardinals can finish their season? Right now, it doesn't even look like it. And at this point, whatever's going on in St. Louis, like, they gotta cut some shit out, or some of them be going to the bars, or is trying to pull some bitches into, like, their hotel room or something, where they're breaking the protocols. Whatever protocols it is, they kind of need to get them fuck out here and bring some players from A-ball up. Even though, or something, just to prove a point, like, listen, you know what, fine, if you don't want to play, fine, we'll just call up some rookies from A-ball to take your spot. We might suck, but hey, that's what you get since you don't want to play. Since you don't want to follow our protocols, this is what you get. You're gonna get so, congratulations, now you made us shit. So, remember that. I don't know. But to me, the whole big thing is with the NFL and MLB is a big thing. So far, it's been good so far. NHL has gone through perfectly. Hockey is pretty much normal. Feels normal. Right now, going into the first round of playoffs. We're going for the first round. The round robin's done. The seeding is done. Pretty much the seeding games for qualifiers for the seeding is done. Right now, it is, I think we are now into the 16 teams now, which I think is between, and let me find NHL real quick. There we go. Right now, it is, I believe, it is going to be between, it is right now, we have a series between Right now, it is currently between the Boston Bruins, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the no wait, some of these teams are actually some teams are eliminated. Let me see which ones were. Let me start this. Okay, this is the last thing. So it says it's between the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Calgary Flames, the Dallas Stars, the Vegas Golden Knights, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Boston Bruins, the Carolina Hurricanes, the New York Islanders, the Washington Capitals, the Phoenix Coyotes versus the Colorado Avalanche, the Montreal Canadiens versus the Philadelphia Flyers, and then you got the Vancouver Canucks versus the St. Louis Blues, who are defending their Stanley Cup title. Right now, it is the way the series are right now. It is the Lightning up 1-0 in their series against the Blue Jackets. Then it is the Golden Knights ahead in their series 1-0 against the Blackhawks. The Bruins lead the series 1-0. They play tonight at 8 o'clock against the Carolina Hurricanes. Game 2 between the Flames and the Stars. Calgary's up 1-0 in that series. And then I think the next games are pretty much as follows there, with where we got the Coyotes take on the Avalanche up 1-0 in their series. The Flyers take on the Canadiens. The Philly leads that series 1-0. The Canucks take on the Blues. Game 2 against the Blues. Vancouver leads 1-0 there. And then we got the Capitals take on the Islanders. Islanders up 1-0 there. And so yeah, so in terms of like if you wondering what Canadian teams are left, it is right now, as of this moment, it is the Calgary Flames, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Vancouver Canucks. They are the three teams left in the country of Canada able to win this thing, and right now, and I think Vancouver is like in their home city, which is like one of the hub cities. So home court advantages. So I'm guessing home ice advantage is doing pretty well for the Canucks. So who knows how this goes? But this season, hockey's been okay. I've seen some. I didn't see all highlights. I just saw one fade someone did of like for 40 minutes, because if you don't know, the Toronto Maple Leafs once again lose in the very first round in the qualifying rounds of the playoffs, 3-2 to the Blue Jackets. That's how the Blue Jackets got into the playoffs in a qualifying round in a best of 5 series, a qualifying round, and it ended with practically it started good because they actually performed one of the biggest comebacks in Game 4, where they were down, I think it was the Blue Jackets that made the comeback to tie the series. They are actually one game away from actually winning this series, actually. I believe it was. It was actually the Maple Leafs in Game 4. End up coming back down 3 goals, I think. They were down 3 goals. Yeah, 3 goals down and rallied in the third period to tie and send it to overtime and won in overtime, which is actually a big thing for Game 4. What happened next, and then Game 5, which is also in their home. Also, they were playing on basically their own home ice. They end up laying the biggest of eggs, getting shut out 3-0 over the Blue Jackets, and it was a bad thing. One thing that I saw was probably the funny, which is something else, that the last time the Maple Leafs had won a championship in, was in 1967, I saw, and someone went through this entire like a half century plus of just horrible like seasons, and some things of difficulty, some changes in ownership, and how some people ran the ownership and everything, and ruined practically the franchise for a long time, until it took them like recently to start playing, getting back to playoff status, to playoff contender status, and now they're pretty much have still had a huge issue. The big thing is being destroyed in final, like, game sevens to the Bruins in the very first round, which is gotta be embarrassing. Which is, I must say, is kind of embarrassing. I feel bad for Toronto fans, especially getting owned by the same team. It's like the Capitals getting owned by the Penguins a lot, and then that's but that is us. That's something. There is something to say about that. There's good things and there's bad things, and that is bad. That is really painful to watch. So yeah, other than that, everything's back to normal. I think everything's starting to get back to normal in terms of sports. A lot of things is starting to be normal, but other than that, there's some things. But who knows how football is going to be? Who knows if baseball will end and how baseball will go? And it looks like so far basketball is going to be good. Right now, the big thing is teams that are out are probably going to be leaving, or some are going to stay. But I think majority are going to leave. Some will probably stay and chill. Who knows? Probably can invite some bitches out. That's the time where you can actually fly some bitches out, because you pretty much don't have to worry about shit. You don't have to worry about playing. Like, you can catch the COVID and not anyone be shocked that you had that life. So I don't know why I'm pulling my sandals. I'm actually about to. But yeah, this is getting weird. I don't know why this podcast is getting weird somehow. And I'm going to set them down in a minute. Let me set these down. But yeah, other than that, that's how most of this stuff has been so far. I think a lot of sports is going to be good. I'm interested in seeing how this playoffs goes. Yeah, I don't know if my Spurs are going to make it in. It's going to be something I'll be seeing in the next couple or 2.5 hours. Time I'm recording this is Thursday instead of the usual Wednesday. But let's just say this: a lot of things happened this week, today, and a lot of stuff happened earlier this week. This week I've been a little crazy. Let's just say this: one big thing is my dad got in a car accident, and a few other things. So let's just say a lot of things happen that's beyond my control. If you ask if my dad's okay, he's fine. His stomach's a little bruised from the airbag deploy. He's just a little out of it. He's just trying to rest and recover a bit. And but every night he's fine. I was not in the car with him. I'm okay. But yeah, he's in a rental car now, and he's yeah, it was a bad situation. But he's alright. It's the car's scar sadly totaled because of air packs deployed. And yeah, that's a big thing. What's a big thing I guess I can say about what's something I could discuss about? So I think I'll discuss something. I'll go over a couple of things in a minute, but first I gotta prep my meals real quick. So we're going to take a quick break. I think when we come back, I guess we could talk about, I think we'll talk about probably Stipe versus DC. That's going to be, which is the big fight this weekend. And, I think we're going short on this. This will probably be a short one. I pretty much covered most big things. I guess I could talk about I guess one thing I'll talk about is probably my diet so far. What my diet is. Like, cause I'm actually doing I'm doing this dressing up as Scorpion for Mortal Kombat. Pretty much my favorite character in Mortal Kombat. And I'm planning on dressing up like him. I'm gonna be getting this costume this weekend. But I'm not gonna wear it like this. I'm gonna try to at least lean down some. So far, I started at 294. Right now, I'm like 290.6. So I lost like so I'm already lost like over 3 pounds already. So your boy's doing good. By the way, Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. So, yeah. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We'll break some more down of his We'll go in more of his podcast, and when we come back, let me go and prep this food, and then when I come back, we'll be ready to get into more of a podcast. Don't go anywhere, folks. Alright, we are back alive, ladies and gentlemen, here on the J-Man Talks podcast. So, we're going to begin with probably the big big event that's going on this weekend, which is, of course, UFC 252. We get in the main event, for the third time, for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. Stipe Miocic defends his title against the man he took it from in their second fight, Daniel D.C. Cormier, in what is going to be his final fight in MMA. He is planning on stepping out of the octagon, and he's planning on pretty much do commentary, which I believe is what he does, and he is a great commentator. Dude is a great analytic mind, great wrestling mind, and everything. And it is going to be a big fight. I'm excited for. Do I think he's going to win? I don't know, but we're going to go through the rest. I think beforehand, we got to go through the rest of the card. So, we got a couple people. Some are young. Some are people who are just joining UFC. Some I don't know. First one is between Kai Kamaka versus Tony Kelly in UFC featherweight division. And then we got a heavyweight fight between Chris Daukaus versus Parker Porter. Next, we got a women's strawweight bout between Ashley Yoder versus Lavina Salsa. And next, we go to another featherweight bout between TJ Brown versus Denny Chavez. Then we go into another women's strawweight bout between Felice Herrig versus Verna Jandaroba. I don't know if I said that right. And then in our featured bout of the prelims is going to be between Jim Miller versus Vink Pichel, which is a great fight. Actually, Jim Miller is a great lightweight fighter. A pretty much aggressive bulldog attitude when it comes into that fight. So it's interesting to see him in this one. Next we go in the main card for the pay-per-view. We got a bantamweight bout between former flyweight title contender John Dodson taking on Merab Valishvili. Merab Valishvili. I hope I said that right. I may have butchered that name, so my apologies to anybody from, what flag is this? I'm not sure what this flag is. So, let me see this better. The country of Georgia. I'm sorry if I butchered this gentleman's name. My, sincere apologies there. Herbert, then in the featherweight, we move up to the featherweight division between Herbert Burns from Brazil versus Daniel Pineda in the featherweight division. Then we go into the big boys, the heavyweights, we got the return of Cigano Jr. dos Santos taking on Jairzinho Rosenstruck, who is turning from a after suffering a big loss to Francis Ngannou in like rather quick fashion. This is his first fight after this loss. He's a young heavyweight. He came in this 10-0. Now he's 10-1. This is his first fight back, but he's still taking on his a top heavyweight in Junior Dos Santos who has some knockout power, who has strong power. But I think this is a more easier fight for Rosenstruck. Someone like Ngannou, who has probably the most powerful power in his hands. It's interesting to see how that goes. It's gonna be interesting. That sounds like a big heavyweight fight. That's a good good taste, and there. And then for the co-main event, we get a big one. We get Sean O'Malley taking on Marlon Vera. Sean O'Malley is a top prospect, a young prospect. He is probably one of pretty much a undefeated bantamweight at 12-0. This is him getting into pretty much him being the co-main of a big pay-per-view event. It's actually huge. It's pretty much the eyes are pretty much gonna be on him. A lot of eyes are gonna be on him, and to see him compete in this high of a level, is gonna be interesting to see, and I'm kind of interested in seeing what he does in this fight. So, I'm excited to see this. So see this, and then the main event, Miocic Cormier, free. Both men have won a fight. If you don't know, Daniel Cormier, who was the light heavyweight champion at the time, decided to go take this fight between Stipe Miocic for heavyweight title. He was still active as a heavyweight champion and light heavyweight champion. He took on Cormier. Cormier took on Miocic, and I think in the first round, in exchange in the clinch, Cormier landed a good clean shot, either an elbow or a hook shot. It knocked Miocic, and Cormier swarmed on him and won that first fight, and became a two-belt champion. I believe the second to do so after Conor McGregor pretty much won the two straight. Then after that, so over a year later after that fight, Stipe Miocic took on Cormier again for the heavyweight title again, and this one lasted a few more rounds longer, and Miocic ended up getting a knockout on him after an exchange, and we end up having the new champion there. And now this is probably a rivalry, which they're pretty much it's a friendly rivalry. It's a little fierce, but it's friendly, and this one's a big one, and I think it's going to be exciting to see how this fight goes. This is a big heavyweight fight. It is going to be a big one. Who do I think will take that fight in general? I kind of am going with Stipe. I think I like DC in terms of the grappling game. DC has that on spares, but the power that Miocic has, it's going to be, I think Miocic is going to win that fight, and Stipe is winning that fight. I'm going to do something, I think tomorrow. I think I'm going to find a phone, get the card, and I'll probably do something like I did on my Instagram story I did once before. Do that, and that'll be my bets there. That'll be me, who I'm thinking is going to win that fight. And and if you're interested in this, so you can see this on probably something on YouTube or something. But other than that, I'm excited. This is going to be a big fight, and I'm ready to watch this one. Who knows how this is going to go. This is going to be a big fight, and it's at the Apex UFC's Apex Center in Las Vegas. So we're gonna be interested. It's gonna be interesting. I'm ready for this because I think the next one after this will be probably between Stylebender versus, I believe it's between Stylebender versus this will later be between Stylebender versus yep, this is gonna be the big one kind of later on, which is going to be between Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa for the middleweight title. And this one is a fight that pretty much, if you don't know, both these guys don't like each other one bit at all. So seeing this one is going to be exciting to see this, because it's going to be exciting to see. I'm ready to see this. I'm ready to watch it and watch that fight, because at the end of this fight, whoever wins or loses, they aren't going to be on happy terms here. So yeah, so that's on September 19th. That's gonna be over a month from now, and yeah, there's gonna be that's a fight I am willing to see and watch. All right, so that's gonna be it for the stuff. So we only got probably a few minutes. This one's pretty much gonna be a short one. Then I have a lot to talk about. I pretty much covered a lot of it, the first good portion of it, this stuff. So I guess I'll talk about next is probably my diet right now going on currently. I'm currently going through a diet right now. I just one thing is I am doing is probably going strict on my diet. I'm pretty much going really strict on my calories, and at least try to at least eat more of stuff I cook and not going out to have go out to restaurants and order something, like stay away from restaurant foods and everything else. One of the things I did was decided to kick off my fasting. Kick off this whole thing was I decided to do a 36-hour fast. And if you're wondering what is exactly this 36-hour fast, how you do it, it's pretty much I just went through a day having nothing but water, and I think some amino, and had some stuff with aminos. I did have like Powerade Zero aminos, a couple of those. I probably have one or two of these. Again, Mountain Dew, zero sugar. And yeah, I know it, and I know if there's anybody who's like very going to be very you didn't really do a real fast, you gotta go water only, nothing else. And I think I'll probably try that another time. I think I'll do it again. Probably never. So I'm gonna do it in another couple weeks and then try to go straight water. Try to go the natural route and just go all water, and I guess take my aminos with water. So no, not cheat like I did. So I guess, but other than that, I did that for 36 hours. How did it go for me? The first 20 plus hours did okay. I was doing probably fine. I just didn't think about food. It just felt, and then I went down to get some water or get Powerade Zero or anything sort. I felt normal. It felt like I just felt regular. Didn't think about food. When did it get to a point where I started craving food? Right around it was right around at past hour 20, and my stepmom just cooked food, and I could smell the food, and I was just like, I just want the food. I'm just like looking at myself like, no, don't think about it. Don't fall for this. This is the start. It was the start of temptation. This is where I made, basically this was where the next 16 hours started getting a little difficult, because after a smell of food, I ran out of Powerade Zero, so I didn't have any in the house, so I had to go buy some at Kroger, which is not too far from my house. Got that, and then I started thinking of food, because I'm like in a grocery store, starving. So I got the Powerade, went in, got the power at 0, got back out, got back in the car, put it in the trunk, got back in the car, and then after that, went on back to my business. And then basically after that, went on back to what I was doing. And spend the night, watching like a few, watching shows. I was watching some My Hero Academia. Binge watched that till like midnight. Went to sleep, and then went to sleep. Got up early. Got up a little early, like 9:30, and like half hour before Vest would end, and I was gonna go and get some like. Here's the thing. I was like in so much of a deficit. Like one of the things that I decided to do was instead of like, probably like, I was going to say like I was going to stay away from like fast food. Let's say this. After practically spending 36 hours with no food in my system whatsoever, I just ordered breakfast from Wendy's. Like I got like one of those breakfast baconators, one of those like maple bacon chicken croissants or whatever, what they're advertising on the television. I got their like, large order of their like, I don't know what they're called, like hash browns or something, or whatever they're called. And got that, and one of those like they're like iced coffee frappe things, which is just basically iced coffee with like milk, vanilla flavored creamer, which was had all of that, logged it into my like macros, and let's just say I ate like 2,000 plus calories, and but at the end of it all, I think that what was my weight Tuesday? But somehow about it Tuesday, and I'm gonna pop this up because I can pull it up for y'all. Tuesday. Oh, hold on a second. That was my timer. I need to go and once again, meal prep my foods. But I guess let me do this real quick. I pretty much am focusing on leaks. Pretty much whole foods outside of that. So after that, I've not eaten else. But the next day, like Tuesday, I weighed in 292.4 from 294 Monday. This is before I ate my thing. 292.4 the next day. Then I gained down to 292.2, so I only lost like a quarter pound, like probably a few ounces or something. Right now I'm at 290.6. This was what my weight was, which is like quite normal. And so far it's been pretty good for me. I feel normal, I feel fine. What's the main goal is I'm at least sticking to my diet. I'm at least trying to exercise every day. Didn't get a chance to do any today because my dad's kind of trying to recover from his accident, from his car accident. So spend the past this week. Basically, the main goal is right now I'm sticking to at least change my calorie totals to a decent amount. I have a good, decent cutoff date time. I can just stop eating anything, which is like around 6, because at that point I'm starting to work from home, working from home. So kind of want to that gives me plenty of time to digest. I can sleep, and everything can digest and not. I can let everything digest and still maintain the 16-8 intermittent fasting at a right pace, which I used to do back in the day. So it's kind of like, okay, I got enough 16-hour fast where I can just eat around 10 a.m. or 11 a.m., which is kind of the time I usually try getting up. I usually get the energy to wake back up and stuff. What's going to be benefits about this is right now I'm doing good. I feel good. I'm sleeping better. I'm recovering better. I feel fine. I think the only thing about it is when you're going through deficit, you're going through a diet, and you kind of just want to make sure you are focused on workouts and stuff. This is what I used to do back. This is one of the things about this now is I'm starting to feel, let's just say I'm correctly, this has been going on for past, throughout this week, your boy is ready to just, let's just say your boy gets ridiculously horny. Like, it's just, and I'm just like, just want to, it's like I want to, one of the things I'm not trying to do is just, go to porn and just, I could just do is like, dude, if you just feel that urge, just rub, just rub out a quick batch, I could do that, but I rather not, because I kind of want to have some discipline and control of myself. Right now, it's like, a lot of stuff on social media, and maybe a lot of stuff on my phone, social media, and pretty much a lot of things, you pretty much, let's just say, after a couple weeks of having a couple weeks or so, let's just say it's been, let's just say your boy is feeling it. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll do something this weekend, just to control it, to help, satiate that need, satiate something. So I won't tell you how, just know I'll find a way to handle it this weekend, probably, maybe next weekend or something. I don't know, I'll find a way I might just slide into some DMs or something, just to see if a girl is down doing, like, say, some buddy cardio. So, yeah, so that's how I'm gonna handle this. So, yeah, that was a weird way of ending this show. This is me talking about practically sex. So, so yeah, I guess that's gonna be it for this episode of the Jimmy Talks podcast. This is a short one. Usually, not a lot of stuff to talk. They didn't talk a lot, but dieting is, so far as how my diet's going, and, yeah, if you guys are interested in knowing more, I'm gonna probably put this in the description box. I am on Mind Fitness Pal. The username on there is JMoney1196. It is pretty much, you can see what I'm pretty much always upload, workouts, diary, what I'm eating, what I do for exercises, and everything else. You can see it all on there. Give it a chance if you want it. I'll probably link it into the pinned tweet. It'll be the pinned tweet if you're interested in what I'm about. If you got any ideas on how to handle this diet, how I should go about this diet, let me know. Also, if you know anybody who can either sell a scorpion costume or can help me with the alterations when it's getting closer to the Halloween time and I can get alterated or something, let me know. But once again, thank you guys very much for watching the J Money Talks podcast. I'm pretty much ready to, hopefully we can, when this is all over, hopefully the bars are open for the Halloween parties. I'll be wearing a mask. I'm going to be rocking a scorpion mask. I already know this. If you cough on me, you'll get sent to Never My Son. And that's on the Elder Gods. Take care, y'all. I'll see you guys at the next episode. See y'all later. And enjoy yourself. Peace.